Welcome to News Desk with me, Mami Sinyamicha Thompson. In the next hour, probe into the alleged plot to oust IGP continues this morning with 3 critical witnesses captured in the leaked tape. We'll give you a wrap of what transpired at the committee yesterday and later take you live to the committee for updates on today's hearing. Also, report any state institution which fails to honor your request for information. That's from the Right to Information Commission. Applicants' information more as the Commission launches Right to Information Month.
Who is sourcing the information does not come back to us to tell us that you still haven't gotten the information. There's no way we will know. So now what we are looking at is ensuring that when we have given the instruction that information should be given to you, a copy should be given to us.
Some schools in mining communities being lost to the operations of mining companies. We have details from a study which says the situation is affecting the quality of academic work as children have to walk longer distances to access education. Also, butchers in Tema livid over the supposed sale of a slaughterhouse at the Tema Industrial Area. Details of these and more in the next hour. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying. In our first story, Commissioner of Police Alex Mensah, who is at the center of the alleged plot to remove IGP Ekufo Dampare, has confirmed his voice in the leaked tape. According to him, he has met the prime witness in the case, Daniel Bukri-Nabu, 4 times to discuss several private conversations which he would not divulge publicly. He has, however, indicated to Parliament's committee probing the case that portions of the tape have been doctored. Samuel Mbura was in Parliament and filed this report.
The embattled Commissioner of Police, Alex Mensah, did not mince words. In submission before the committee, he confirms dealing with Daniel Bukri-Nabu but doubts the authenticity of the leaked tape.
Because the audio, which I've just listened, is an edited one. There's a likelihood somebody can fake my voice. But I can't confirm because I don't have that technical system to confirm it.
Is there any flow of conversation on this tape that you, in true humility, will say that nobody is faking my voice? Or it is the entire tape that you want to say that somebody is trying to, fake your voice?
The chairman, not the entire.
COP Alex Mensah has also taken on his boss, the IGP Ekufo Dampare, for mismanaging the Ghana Police Service.
Honorable Chair, I will not deny that fact today, tomorrow, or the next day. I will make that statement again. That the current Inspector General of Police is not managing the police service well. It's something I will not run away from. I will say it everywhere, anywhere that I go. And you can do your own investigations, call police officers underground and find out from them.
Commissioner, calm down. Calm down. Can you assist this committee? You see, within the context of your statement, it has
he revealed that majority of the police officers are currently disgruntled, which has the potential of affecting the political fortunes of the MPP, a reason he is unhappy about his administration.
As we speak, majority of police officers are not happy. And if these same people are those who are going to police the elections. And remember, police officers, they vote. Their wives vote. Their children vote. Their mothers and fathers vote. That is my concern.
Mr. Alex Mensah has therefore expressed willingness to open up on the rot in the Ghana Police Service, but on condition of an in-camera hearing. Chairman of the committee investigating the leaked tape, Atachia, said they may consider doing so due to the sensitive nature of the information,
which is for public consumption. Some testimonies and pieces of evidence might have national security implications, and therefore in-camera hearing is one of the ways to, address the problem. So when we come to terms with that, why not? We invite him to give us in-camera testimony.
There were earlier objections by lawyers for Alex Mensah, which were overruled. Their concern was about reported prejudicial comments by members of the committee, Peter Tobu and James Aga. Mr. Atachia said the committee will offer them the opportunity to adduce evidence.
We will not stop them from tendering evidence which should aid what we are doing. Guess what? Even the members of the committee are not enemies of the witnesses at all, or the people involved. And therefore, if you start doing what they call evidence gagging, then you are biased ab initio. That is why I said anything of consequence that they will need to aid what they are doing, they should give it to them freely. And they are about to do that. In the same token, if there's anything which is exculpatory of them and they have, the committee should look at it. And if there's plain bias about certain things, I've said one thing which is very important. I would not be the person trying to get biased members of the committee to mess them up. So I don't have the lenses of bias. But if they believe that the committee is not properly constituted, then it's above me, because I'm not the one who constituted the committee as a speaker.
The committee has adjourned sitting to Friday to continue probing COP Alex Mensah and Superintendent George Asari. Meanwhile, the third officer, Superintendent Eric Emmanuel Jebi, who has denied dealing with Bugri Nabu, has been discharged. From Parliament House, Samuel Mbura, Joy News.
Sorry.
Well, hearings continue today, and Samuel Mbura is there live for us. We'll be getting to him for updates. But moving on, the Right to Information Commission says applicants whose request for information were not granted by state institutions, even after petitioning the Commission to report such institutions to the Commission. Speaking at the launch of this year's Right to Information Month, Deputy Chairman of the Commission, Elizabeth Asari, said the Commission will now demand state institutions to furnish people with copies of documents demanded by applicants. There's more in the following report.
The Right to Information Commission was established by the RTI Act 989 to promote transparency and accountability and to also empower people to access information on central and local government as well as non-governmental organizations which are publicly funded. The RTI Information Month aims to create awareness of the operations of the Commission and to provide platforms for meaningful input to the implementation of the law. Elizabeth Asari is the Deputy Chairperson of the Board of the RTI Commission.
2 years ago, the Right to Information Commission instituted an annual Right to Information Week celebration with week-long activities to shed light on Act 989 and increase visibility. The Commission has seen the need to change the week celebration to month celebration. The theme for this year's Right to Information Month celebration is the importance of the online space to access to information. The objective of the Right to Information Month 2023 is to sustain the awareness creation that the Commission has embarked upon and improve the deliberative platforms provided for the implementation of the law.
She indicated that the Commission will start demanding copies copies of documents requested by applicants as a way of ensuring institutions adhere to the rulings of the Commission.
We instruct or we ask the organization to give you the information. When we have level penalties against them, they definitely will pay the penalties. If you, who is source of the information, does not come back to us to tell us that you still haven't gotten the information, there's no way we will know. So now what we are looking at is ensuring that when we have given the instruction that the information should be given to you, a copy should be given to us. Then we will know that you have gotten the information. Most of the time you don't get the information and you don't come back to us because you have reported to us. We have levied penalties and you think that nothing is happening.
Meanwhile, the head of Legal, Governance, Regulatory and Research of the Commission, Stephen Owusu, made it known that the Commission is in court with the Ghana Police Service and other institutions like GOIL to get the court to order them to pay some administrative penalties for failing to provide information to institutions as demanded by the Commission.
We are in court against Ghana Police to get the court to order them to pay the administrative penalties imposed on them. Okay, there are other institutions we are in court against. The applicants that we made the order in favor of that decided to take going on and made the Commission an interested party. Okay, so they sued God. They said the Right Information Commission only wants to give us this information. Up to now, I'm not giving us information. So we assume so they sued God and made us an interested party. We said yes, we were interested. So we are part of that case. So as the applicant is trying to get the information, we are also trying to get administrative penalty we imposed. So that's an example. And for Ghana Police Service, we were just to say the matter is something the case.
The month-long celebration of the right to information is on the theme, the importance of the online space for access to information. Prince Kwame Kudiga's reports read to you.
The Public Utility Regulatory Commission has appealed to Ghanaians to collectively fight against galamsey to purge the country's water bodies. According to the Commission, illegal mining is a contributing factor to the recent increase in water tariff. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Dr. Ishmael Aka, at a Tariff Education Forum for Tertiary Students in Ho, said the water company is now compelled to use expensive chemicals to treat water from heavily polluted rivers for public consumption.
Okay, so when it comes to the water tariff especially, we look at about 4 factors: the exchange rate, the cost of electricity, inflation, and the cost of chemical. Now, before galamsey became a big issue, Ghana Water was using a chemical called alum for them to treat the water before they serve customers. Now, because of the nature of water we have now, some places when you go to the Pra and Cobra and other places, they are almost treating mud instead of water. Now, that means that even when you want to use the alum, you have to use about 5 times alum before galamsey. Now, they are moving towards what we call polymer. That is the chemical they are using now, and that is 2.5 times more expensive than alum. So the implication is that galamsey is making the cost of treating water very expensive, and unfortunately consumers are paying for that. So I also admonish all of us to help fight against galamsey so that we don't bear some of these costs which we shouldn't have bear.
Still on mining, some children in mining communities are losing their community schools to the operations of mining companies. This, according to a study, is affecting the quality of education because the children have had to walk longer distances to schools in neighboring communities. This is among several findings in a study conducted by the Department of Geography Education at the University of Education, Winneba. The study sought to assess the impact of mining on access to education within mining communities. The study, which was carried out in the Sutufi North District of the Ahafo region, underscores the pressing need for a closer examination of the socio-economic implications of mining on affected communities.
Mining plays a crucial role in Ghana's socio-economic development, but irresponsible mining practices have had a more detrimental impact than positive outcomes. In light of the new Mount Ghana's limited takeover of the Sutifi North District, Dr. Yawa Samoa from the University of Education, Winneba, conducted a study which revealed that the local school attended by the children in the area was demolished and relocated to Kenyasi No. 2. Consequently, children in neighboring communities now have had to endure long journeys to reach their school. He indicated that this situation significantly hampers the academic performance of students in these communities.
Was mainly about how children within the fence line communities within the district access formal education and the means by which they do access the formal education, and as to whether those means would affect their performance as pupils or performance as students. And it was so clear that they wouldn't have school just within their immediate environment. That means that pupils will have to travel on an average of, say, 7 kilometers to move from Damso, and that is a fence line community, to go to either Kenyasi No. 2, to either go to Dochikrom, which is also called Tutuka, and also Yaosukrom to access education. Normally, they will have to miss the first morning class, which starts at 7:30. You understand? And the bus may go there even after 8. So they miss the early morning class, which is 7:30, miss assembly, and then sometimes miss the first lesson. And if continuously a child is missing these number of lectures or a number of classes, it definitely will not augur well with them when it comes to their performance. And so you realize that the performance will be deteriorating because of these irregularities when it comes to the bus coming to pick them. Of course,
he recommended that the individuals in these fence line communities be relocated to another settlement.
About, I should say, over 90% were calling for that they want to be resettled. That is a clarion call that they want to be resettled, to join their kinsmen or their relatives, as most of them said in the interviews. So the school feeding program, I think, should be extended to especially the school at Koduhia DA, which is at Kenyasi No. 2. Scholarship opportunities for these kids will not be bad. Speaking
on the regulation of mining in forest reserves, Deputy Director of Arocha, Ghana, Darrell, is calling for the repeal of the new LI 2462.
But in recent times, the last 10 years, we've seen some pressure. All our forests come under siege from illegal mining activities. So now we want to ensure that all the laws and regulations coming in are rather going to support their protection. But we have been surprised that this LI actually has been passed, even though it is titled environmental protection, is rather environmental destruction, because it opens up almost all forest reserves now for mining, which is contrary to existing policy on reducing mining in our forest reserves. And this is one of the main reasons why we think that this forest is not going to support our Green Ghana agenda, our climate action, or the commitment we have at an international level, both for biodiversity conservation and also for our own sustainable livelihood. So we believe that repealing this LI will be a good step to really staying committed to sustainable forest management in this country.
The report is titled Mining Induced Placement's Impact on Children's Education. Esther Nkrumah's report read to you.
Now, road users and traders along the Ahenema Kokobing and Riankwanta Road in the Ashanti region are living in fear after an abandoned project now riddled with gullies has claimed at least 16 lives in the past year. Contractors demolished structures along the single road to pave way for its dualization, but have since left the site. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku has been to the community and now reports.
It was in 2021 when the government resolved to reconstruct the Ahenema Kokobing and Riankwanta Road into a dual carriage road. Buildings and makeshift structures along the shoulders of the stretch were cleared to make way for the road upgrade. After months of construction work, which saw grading of the road, the project was abandoned. Mud and dust covered both sides of the road, with portions of the tarred road deteriorating.
now with the problem if I any man or more can a problem. Several China me have foot to no come when I didn't go load carry. About what free and more the Akosroa. That was our time I said foot to no more.
I usually irrigate the stretch with my water tanker to reduce the dust.
It's a slab, so
a more perilous sight on the stretch is the huge gullies eating into the road. So, conspicuous along this particular stretch is the numerous open pits, or what you would call a gully, that are dotted along this particular stretch. The residents over here tell us they are living in constant fear because at least 16 lives have been claimed at this particular den.
Now in Seattle, in Sione Kotai, I'm Nebimu. It's no Omuye overtaking. It's your own himself on a year. It's called Jinan and Kakaba, Kwaba became. And it's what Kwasham anymore. There's
several accidents in the area. My brother passed away after his car veered off the road into one of the gullies along the stretch. He passed with 16 people on board the car.
The accident debris, me and my bra penny, and the dingo breno. Me driver, I'm a so called and young Koba. But if
since the project began, I witnessed at least 3 accidents due to the open pits here. We are pleading with the government to continue the project. It's scary when you meet an articulator truck on the
road. The abandoned road is bringing economic activities at Dominase, a suburb along the stretch, to its knees.
Bread is a favorite of all. People hardly buy ice due to the dust. Business isn't booming here.
Yeah, no money ever come has say. There is about the cabas, Rama has said, and you may care for a shoe and power has say.
If you are young Quantasa, Kokusi, Bofidu, left and right in an stores or poor amount for stores, amount for container.
You cleared structures on the stretch, but nothing has since been done. We don't know what we've done to the government, but we will advise ourselves in the coming elections.
It remains unclear why the project has stalled for months now. But for the time being, residents live in terror, hoping the road project is completed and the gullies covered. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Quick.
Now we cross over to Parliament, where there's a live hearing of the probe into the alleged leak tape of the IGP, or a plot against the IGP to remove him from office. Let's go live now to Parliament.
Complaint, police procedure in respect of what? This complaint within the service or?
Thank you very much. The clarification goes like this. If you are a police officer and you are aggrieved for one thing or the other about happenings in the service, what is the procedure?
Madam Chair, the procedure is for the police officer to report to his immediate boss, for his immediate boss to forward it, and finally gets to the IGP. That's the procedure.
Thank you very much. That is the generic procedure. Let me be a bit specific. If you are a member of POMAP and you think that there are things that the Inspector General of Police is doing.
Remember, can you give it the full meaning, because some abbreviations will be lost.
Thank you. If you are a member of the Police Management Board, where the IGP is a member chair, and there are things happening within the police service that you are not happy, and it's a unitary command, what is the procedure?
Honorable Chair, as I said, and it refers to all police officers, whether POMAP or what. Your first is to report to your immediate boss, even if what your immediate boss is doing is what you don't want.
Just to remind you about the fact that you impressed me yesterday when you said you are a principled person. I will look into your face and tell you what I think is right. Whether you take it or you leave it, you like it or you don't like it, but that is me. And I'm happy to hear that. Who is your immediate boss? Because until 16th of September, I don't see you in Mufti. I still regard you as my commissioner until 16th of September. Who is your immediate boss?
My immediate boss, as I speak now, is the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare.
Yesterday, you made it clear to the committee that Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, the Inspector General of Police, is not managing the police well. Have you ever had an opportunity to express this, either directly to him or at the Police Management Board meeting?
Honorable Member and Honorable Chair, several opportunities. And what I said yesterday, if you give me the chance today, I will say so again. He is not managing the police service well. And for me, for the 31 years that I've been in the service, I can tell you he's the worst IGP we've ever had in this country.
Please hold on. Yesterday, we realized that if we are not careful, this will be a trial of the entire police service, which will have national security implications. And therefore, every line of questioning which we want to bring about the issue of the IGP and his competence and the rest of the matters will give you the opportunity in camera, so we listen to you. So members, let's have it at the back of our minds. You see, if we are not careful, understand, then we are trying the IGP in his absence by what he's pronouncing, which will not be a good way to handle the matter. So please, let's leave that area. For good measure, an opportunity will be given you in camera. Now, what do you believe with your 31 years of experience is a problem with the entire police setup, the head being the IGP? You let us know, and we will know how we'll glean meaning and substance from what you say and incorporate it in some of the recommendations that we do. So, Superintendent, I crave your indulgence. Let's leave that area and deal with the main issues. And where we believe that we should sit in camera, we are ready to bring him on board. Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman. I think that he didn't answer my question. He veered into an area that I never questioned on. The question was, the IGP is your immediate boss. And the complaint procedure there is that even if it's your immediate boss that is doing things not right, you go and tell him. Have you ever had the opportunity to tell the IGP, suggesting to him things that you think were not right in the administration, either at the Police Management Board meeting or directly to him? Have you ever done that?
Chair, then this is a question which has already been asked, and I said yes. So I don't know why my
Thank you very much for the emphasis. To conclude, when your immediate boss refuses or fails to address your grievance, I'm sure there's a next step to take. What is that next step?
Mr. Chair, per the advice that you gave, I will refuse to answer this question. Thank you.
Chair, I think if care is not taken, this is a public hearing, but we need to exercise our discretion in the interest of the public so that very simple questions which can be answered must be answered. But right now, it looks like the situation has been created whereby the witness wants us to, have much of his testimony done in camera. That would also not serve the public interest. So, for instance, the question that was just posed, that's a very simple question. The public wants to know. The audio is out there. We must establish the justification for most of the things that were said on that audio through the witness to satisfy the test of the public to, know what really went on. But from every indication, I won't answer this. I will do it in camera. This is a public hearing. So we must balance, strike a balance.
Very good balance we are trying to strike. Because you see, we should be mindful of one major thing here. That anything that will become a serious matter in the public domain via this engagement and will impinge on national security matters will not be proper. You see, I'm also, when he says that I won't answer, that is his right, you know that, cancel. It's not because of what I said. Because we can't force him to answer questions. But you take note of his silence or his refusal to answer a question and comment on it. But what is very important is that I don't want anybody to have an impression that, we are trying to aid the witness so that vital information that the public wants to consume, they will not have it. That is not what we are doing here. Because there's a lot of information that is in Jubilee House that the public is not having. A lot of information. There's also a lot of information with the bureaus that the public does not know. So it's not every information that is good for public consumption, measured against national security. But if a man is seated here and he says he won't answer the question, the committee will take notice of it. Because we as a members of the committee cannot compel him to answer questions. But you make note of that, his demeanor and the rest of it. We are all observing him.
Yes, Chairman, I agree. But in the case of national security related matters and when they can be divulged, there is a procedure for, first of all, categorization and classification. So, for instance, a document can be marked as restricted, confidential, etc. There's a procedure. But in this case, there is a witness before the committee. And the basis for this whole exercise is a leaked audio, which is already out there. Certain statements have been made very clearly on the audio. And so when questions are posed and they are directly related to what is said in that audio, for instance, you want justification. The entire police service is not happy with the IGP. The public needs to know. The police service is a creature of the Constitution and statute. The people have an interest in how well the police administration, the police service is managed. So, if you come and sit here and make such an emphatic statement, we should not leave the public in doubt. They should know. They deserve to know. I don't think there is any national security dimension to management. The service is not well managed. It's out there. What is the justification? The public should not be denied access to the justification. If we do that, it would constitute a disservice to the public. They should know. The national security, if you start making certain revelations here, and the committee thinks that those revelations are sensitive, we'll stop you right there and say that this one, let's have it in camera. But to say all the justifications should be done, we'll be doing the public a disservice. So we have to draw the line. You see, the audio is out there. It is even in the interest of the witness to do the justification right here to the hearing of the public. We don't deserve to have an incompetent IGP.
Vice, you are not a witness. I crave your indulgence. Don't say that we don't deserve.
No, that is the point.
No, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. Vice, I crave your indulgence. You see, I'm walking a very thin line, and let me explain. Probably, if I'm wayward.
I'm not saying the IGP is incompetent.
No.
But per his assertion.
But listen. If the IGP is not competent enough, you understand, and the IGP is not here, how can we give a good hearing and come to a conclusion on the mere say-so of a man? It's all right. If we want to bring the IGP on trial, then he should be here. And also, listen, it's very important for us to do this. He should be here. Secondly, the issues of the incompetence of the IGP can be heard in camera. That's it. And we have said it yesterday. And even went on to say that, we will do us a good paper on some of the challenges of the police service. Was that not so? So what is the point in saying that in the full glare of the public, a man is not here, and we should give another man the space to say all manner of things about it? So this is where I think we should be able to contain the situation. And let me tell you what is very important. The public wants to know what? The public, the general public, what do they want to know? That is the whole point of the matter. This is an interrogation in which we are trying to find out who did the taping, the content of the tape, and the conclusion of the matter and our recommendations. It is not every conceivable issue that the public should know. You know that. You have been a minister before. A lot of things in the interior ministry, the public knows it already. So why should we use this forum to break the rules when it comes to matters which might border on national security? But let me tell you something. If there is something that he doesn't want to answer, and it's so plainly obvious that he's hiding something, the public will know him. The public are also judging him. You are not the only people who are doing this judgment. So, Vice, I am of the humble view that if he says that he will talk to us privately, we'll listen to him privately. Or you think that he should say everything here?
Well, I don't think we have an exhaustive.
Okay, fine.
We have an exhaustive list of witnesses. So, in the case of the IGP, if he makes comments here which warrants the extension of an invitation to the IGP, we do that. We had established the protocols that, look, internal matters for our consideration.
Yeah.
But
these are in-house matters.
The fact that he has the opportunity to speak here will do justice.
Commissioner, think about it. He's asking you this question. That when you spoke to the IGP and he rebuffed your views, or he just ignored what you said, did it end there?
Honorable Chair, it ended there. And he is aware. He knows. The person who is asking the question, he knows. IGP is not mandatory, supposed to take any advice that comes from his advisors. No.
Was there, so you ended it? Sorry? Speak to the mic.
Yes.
You ended it?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, let's intervene here. Yeah. Chair, sorry. Please, who are the advisors of the IGP?
The PUMAP members. Honorable Chair.
Okay, but Commissioner, you would agree with me that PUMAP advises the council, I mean the Police Service Council, not the IGP.
Mr. Chair, PUMAP has a representative at the Police Council. But there has never been a situation where the whole PUMAP have gone to the Police Council to give any advice. No.
So what is the role of that representative on the council? What is he supposed to do?
The role of the rep of PUMAP on the council is to go to the council and speak the minds of all police senior officers, not only PUMAP. In fact, he represents senior police officers. And there is a junior officer too on the council who represents all the junior police officers. And he or she is there to speak the minds of all junior police officers. IGP, who is a member of the council, is the one who speaks the minds of PUMAP at the police council.
But, Commissioner, now, so IGP is the conveyor belt of the entire police service, including PUMAP, at the level of the council. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Now, the IGP goes there in a representative capacity so that he doesn't express his personal views. He must convey the views of PUMAP to the council by way of advice. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair, that is what it is supposed to be.
And you think that the IGP at the level of the council was not conveying the views of PUMAP, the advice of PUMAP to the council? Is that what you're saying?
Mr. Chair, I'm not a member of the police council. And I've never been in their meeting. And I've never heard what the IGP says at the police council. So I cannot answer this question, Mr. Chairman.
Do you know, as a senior police officer, if you are aggrieved by certain happenings within the service, you reserve the right to petition the Police Service Council?
Yes, I do.
any point in time deem it necessary to petition the Police Service Council on the conduct of the IGP?
No, Mr. Chair.
Then are you done or you want to?
Chairman, if you permit me, I will just wind up.
Okay, go ahead.
Commissioner, you and I think that what we know in the area of national security or internal security, of course, on the need-to-know basis, we won't be spilling them on the table here. And you know that after 25 years in the police service, I've worked for 3 Inspector Generals of Police. So I also do have information. But I won't ask you questions that will put the police service image into disrepute. I won't do that. So what I was asking was just a simple procedure to end at the point that you know, if you are aggrieved, you go through the chain. It stops at the police council level. Is that right?
Mr. Chair, can go to the police council, but I didn't stop there.
So it means that we are agreeing to share the simple procedure that it can stop at the office of the president. Is that right?
It can even go to the courts if you so desire. Cannot stop at the office of the president. It can go to the courts.
So much I agree with you. And do you think that many people who are watching you, many that you have trained, many of us who admire you and we see you as a mentor, do you think that we'll be very surprised that the commissioner, as bold as you are, you've never petitioned the police council at the point that you think that the IGP is actually not handling or managing the service well?
As to the opinion of people, I don't know. I can't speak for them. I'm not here to speak for the opinions of people. So for this question, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I can't answer.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Commissioner, all of us here, we are looking for a better Ghana police service. That is why we're here. How do we get a better Ghana police service when a grievance procedure is well spelled out? Because as we are human beings, we can be aggrieved at any point in time. You didn't follow your grievance as expressed strongly that the IGP is not managing the service well. You didn't follow it to the legally logical conclusion. Is that right?
Mr. Chair, for all due respect, I want to take my privilege. I don't want to answer this question.
My last question, Mr. Commissioner. The Inspector General of Police is a member chairman of the Police Management Board. The Inspector General of Police is not the Police Management Board. And the Inspector General of Police doesn't take advice. Yesterday I said we used to have the headquarters Management Advisory Board advising the IGP. But since the coming into force of Ghana Police Service Regulation 2012, it changed from the advisory position to a board. So the IGP is a member and a chair. So I would be surprised for you to confirm again that POMAP will take a decision about the performance or administration of the Ghana Police Service and the IGP will not listen. Is that the picture you wanted to paint?
Mr. Chair, I've never made such a statement. You know why it's bringing that statement from? That POMAP takes a decision and our IGP will not. IGP is, as you said, is the chair of the POMAP. So how can the POMAP take a decision and IGP, then where the decision was being taken, where was he? I never made such a statement, please.
So grateful. So you agree with me that when you said, I'm a POMAP member, if you advise the IGP, if you like, he takes it. You agree with me that POMA members are not advisors. They are members of the board, and you can't take a decision without the IGP. And if the IGP chairs and you take the decision, that decision is binding on the IGP. Is that right?
Mr. Chair, what is the work of board members? When they go to board meeting, you come out with your ideas and your advices as to whether or not it is taken or not. So if you say that POMA members are not advisors, then I don't know what they are there doing. The head of the police service, according to our service instruction, the IGP is in charge the day-to-day management of the Ghana Police Service. And he takes decisions. He even decides what and what not to bring to POMA.
If I may land, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much, Chairman, for protecting me. Because I see that Mr. Boama is not listening to me. But Commissioner, I ask these questions because a lot of people who do not understand the workings of the Ghana Police Service may blame you or may praise you without clarity of what the procedure is. So the questions I'm asking is just let the public who are viewing us, the public viewing us, appreciate that, listen, this is a 31-year experienced police commissioner. So when he speaks about the police, and he goes to say that the police service is not being well managed, for me, with my experience, I get scared. So a bit of explanation. In camera, we'll do a lot of other stuff. You know, as a matter of fact, I will ask you some questions. If it is in camera, I will do. But publicly, please, POMA, headed by the IGP, members of POMA together with the IGP takes a decision. It's the duty of the chair to convey that decision. So you agree with that POMA members are not advisors?
Mr. Chair, I've told you, maybe let me say this too. There have been occasions that meetings have gone on among POMA members, that some POMA members were not even invited to the POMA meeting because they don't want them to be there. And that is what is going on.
Chairman, it's at this limit that I will want us to progress. If we progress with him from my line of questions, it will have to be in camera. I'm grateful.
You see, so I think the evidence is showing that the chairman is not cruel, you know. Now you know that something should be in camera so that we don't have troubles. Okay, so now let's yield space to my brother on my right if he needs to wind up. See, and then after that, you bear in mind that Superintendent Asari will have his 10. Oh, I've not. Vice. I've told you that you have a lot of space to ask your questions. So after him, I'm only reminding him. I'm only telling him that he shouldn't, excuse me to say, restart the whole thing. We are just tidying up as a preliminary issue, because thereafter we know what to do. And then this space we have to, our brother will have to have his 10, and then we know what to do. Now, when it's finished and members of the committee want to ask more questions, yes, you should go ahead. And Vice, you have your space too. But just bear in mind that it's a winding up exercise. It's not going to be that we are redoing it again. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, yesterday the witness requested for the verbatim transcription of the audio if the committee was in possession of. I just wanted to know if a copy was given to him.
Yes, sir. Have you received a copy of the verbatim transcription of the audio we know?
That is so, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, yesterday when the audio was played, the witness indicated that it wasn't all that clear. And then later on, he indicated that it was an edited version of the audio. Now that you have the verbatim transcription of it, and presumably you have gone through everything, which parts of what is before you, of the verbatim transcription of the audio that you have given you, do you think that you did not come from you? You did not utter such words. Which part of it did not come from you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You were given the transcripts. You were not given the audio. I said, what I said was about the audio. And Mr. Chairman said they don't have the audio.
So I don't want to cut you, but what he's trying to say is that the audio we have, you see, has been transcribed into writing. And that is what we delivered to your lawyer and your good self. And in that transcription, which one would you say is an edited version or otherwise? That's what he's saying.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There are a lot of edited ones, and I want to cite an example. In the audio, when I was speaking to Bukri Nabu in the audio, somebody came in. Then we said, let me go into tree. Sorry, watch it. I don't know about that. I feel over. And this portion came twice in the audio. An audio which was supposed to follow naturally. This portion came twice in the audio. So how can an audio which was being recorded and nothing has touched it, and the person just came in once, and that one came in twice, as if the person came first and went back and came again?
It still doesn't answer the question. You see, if the audio we had is not a fair representation of what actually took place, we wouldn't know. Listen to me carefully. That's why we are here. And what we did was to transcribe what is on the audio you are questioning, and you listen to, and delivered the document of the transcription to you and your counsel to look at. So, with the state of affairs, as clearly noted in the transcription, what has been transcribed, are they doctored or they represent what took place?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. They are doctored, because there are so many things that he, Bukinabu himself, said which is not in the audio.
You see, the mandate of the committee is to establish the authenticity of the tape. And so when you said it wasn't all that clear yesterday, and then your counsel followed up for the request for the written version, I was of the view that when you get a copy, you will go through from the beginning to the end. And therefore, you'll be able to indicate to us, this committee, statements that have been attributed to you that are incorrect. And so that when you say that, oh, it has been tampered with, they say, oh, this statement was attributed to me as having been made by me, this. But I didn't say that. This is what I said. And that will give us a fair appreciation of where you're coming from. So going through this document that we have given you, the written version of the audio, which statement in this, which is attributed to you, that you did not make? Is there any statement in there that is attributed to you, but you did not make that statement?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
If I sit here and say that I'm going to come up with the list of the things that are in the transcript, which I did not say, or what I said, I'm not ready, because they only gave us the transcript. They didn't give us the audio.
You see, you had the benefit of listening to the audio. Listen carefully. Commissioner, have patience. You had the benefit of listening to the audio. And remember yesterday, I was even asking you that you think somebody is trying to improvise your voice. You remember those questions? Now, this committee had the benefit of what you listened to yesterday. And this committee has no incentive to do a transcription outside the audio. We don't have an incentive to do that.